whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
Bill Maher brought on Chris Hayes from MSNBC to absolutely torch him live on Real Time with Bill Maher. You know things are getting bad out there whenever Bill Maher is bringing on woke TV hosts onto his show, absolutely having to destroy them instead of just having a slurp fest like they normally do when it comes to Real Time with Bill Maher or The View, and they bring on somebody woke and they just say, oh, isn't it Donald Trump so awful, ha ha ha, you know, the whole time. Now it's Bill Maher actually going after these people. You know, we saw the clip of Bill Maher going after Gavin Newsom, really pushing back and cornering him multiple different topics. Now Bill Maher is going off on this woke idiot here, Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Let's get into this clip here where Bill Maher absolutely torches Chris Hayes from MSNBC live on Real Time with Bill Maher.
But I also think at the same time, there is a message of what I would call like common sense, patriotic pluralism. Yeah. That is a majority message, which is like, if some father and mother have health care for their kid lined up who's trans, just stay the fuck out of their business. Like, and let them make that decision. That's their decision to make. And you don't have to make that for your family. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your family.
Well, I mean, but the argument is whether the child should make the decision.
But the child is never making the decision. The parents are always making the decision. Parents consent to medical care.
Well, here in California, you're allowed to hide it from the parents if the kid is.
Yes.
Thank you, one person who knows that.
But I mean,
somebody knows that is the case.
I think in the vast majority, and we've been hearing from parents right now whose kids' medical care has been interrupted. I think there's a way to talk about.
Well, of course, they would say it's not medical care. They would say it's disfiguring a child.
I think they should mind their own business. I really do. I think they should mind their own business. And I think that's true about a lot of things. I think there is this sense in which there was this sort of backlash politics, some of which I understood, some of which people I know felt that way. I don't think what people wanted was for the women CIA agents at the CIA to be told that they can't get together once a month to like celebrate former women spies. I just don't, I think like fundamental parts of what we call in this country the traditions of pluralism, which is what this country is, and pluralism.
What is this guy even talking about, dude? This is so tiring, and I'm just so tired of hearing this nonsense. What are you talking about? What CIA agents? Was there CIA agents that wanted to get together? Women CIA agents trying to get together to celebrate former women CIA agents? Can you imagine if men did that? How stupid, and they would get made fun of. Hey, you want to have a gathering where we celebrate former male football players? You know, I guess only male, but I don't know. Let's just get together and celebrate the former male whatever bricklayers. It just sounds so ridiculous to bring up a point and just a bit gay. You know, I'm not sure how to go about that, but it's so protected whenever it's women doing it. But if you could imagine men doing it, everyone would be like, "What are y'all doing? Like, what are we really doing here?" It's just a bit weird. And maybe I'm even misreading into what this guy's even saying, but I'm just confused.
Diversity. If we're not going to use that one, let's use pluralism. That fundamentally there's a majority that understands that like we all come from different places, and part of what makes this country work is we acknowledge and we negotiate those differences. And that's a thing that I think Democrats can win back a majority of messages.
Yeah, if you say so, man. I'm just a bit confused. I like how at the beginning Bill Maher is like, yeah, people just don't want like disgusting things being taught to their kids in school, and the audience applauds. And at the end, this guy, Chris Hayes, is like, I think the Democrats can win back the audience by pushing diversity and inclusion and DEI and stuff like that. It's like, buddy, that's exactly what the Democrats just got annihilated on in the last election, the 2024 election. That's what they lost on. Because you're pushing all that nonsense. And there's people out there, like Bill Maher, like Anna Kasparian, like these people that are trying to say, no, the Democrats have gone too far in multiple different areas. Maybe they should take a step back and pushing ideas and policies that are actually popular with the American people, with the populace. And it's people like Chris Hayes who are going on Real Time with Bill Maher. And let's double and triple down on this nonsense that got us annihilated in the last election. That's why they're going to continue to lose until somebody comes into the Democratic Party and are like, we're switching this thing up. We're mixing it up. We're going to be actual populists. We're going to do what Donald Trump did, but with a left-wing version of it. Then they're going to keep losing. They're going to lose. Unless the right wing, the Republicans, elect a horrible candidate, they're going to lose. because of people like Chris Hayes right there. We also have this clip here from the same episode of Real Time with Bill Maher that was very interesting as well that I want to show you.
What do you think of the Trump? What do you think of the Trump White House admitting more influencers and podcasters into the press corps? Yeah, the press room is different. I mean, it reflects America.
I think it's great.
Yeah, you do.
But it's mostly right-wing influencers and podcasters, obviously. But I think it's a good step. I mean, this is how people are getting their news.
It is. I mean, how can you deny it?
I was actually over there the other day, and it's packed in there. And I think even though all the reporters, whether you're Legacy or the podcasting people, they're all happy. And then they have like the one rotating chair, which I guess is pretty cool. So there's always like somebody new that comes in.
So this is you're at the White House, you're talking about?
Yeah.
But it was Axios that they gave the new media seat to, and that is to Mike Allen, who is like an established reporter in Washington. Axios has been around for like 5 years, sold for $500 million. I don't really consider it new media, and I thought it was interesting that that was their first new media.
It is new media, because old media sells for $1.
That is true.
What do you mean by that?
Well, that's what Bezos bought the Washington Post for. He bought it for like $1, didn't he? So, you know, the new
well,
stuff.
that's because he's worth like $500 billion. So it was, yeah.
It's all relative.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
But I'm interested in this. You're at the White House. What were you just hanging around?
I know some people over there, you know.
No, I'm asking. You're like, you have that kind of carte blanche? You can just walk?
No, I was there for, I think it was an education event that the president did. And a lot of the staff I know from the campaign trail.
Right.
So walking in there, it was like I was on the campaign trail. So everybody's just saying hello, hugging. Let me show you my office. So I was kind of walking around. Got a chance to see the press room. They go, stand at the podium. I'm like, no. I'm not going to do that.
Give them 4 more years, right?
Oh,
well, then maybe you can answer this one. Has Mar-a-Lago culture, it's actually addressed to you, come to D.C.? Are the cruel kids popular?
Yeah, I mean, I think just the aesthetic of Mar-a-Lago and the people around Donald Trump, they haven't even just changed D.C., they changed Palm Beach. It's like the long platinum blonde hair, the big eyelashes, the buccal fat removal, the lip filler. They look like Kristi Noem or, I don't know.
Sounds like Hollywood.
Trump. Yeah, it's a look. It's very...
And by the way, I think it's a genius idea of Donald Trump and his administration to have a seat for new media. I don't absolutely know if Axios is the new media he's going for, but it's just so funny to watch Donald Trump and Republicans beat Democrats their own game, because Democrats, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, they tried so hard to do exactly what Donald Trump did. They tried really hard. They paid off Harry Sisson and Dean Withers and the weirdos to push messages and capture the young audience, whereas Donald Trump is actually willing to go on podcasts and live streams with Aiden Ross or those types of people and Joe Rogan, whereas Kamala Harris is too scared to do it. She would never go on a live stream. Are you kidding me? The terms that she gave Joe Rogan, the terms that she gave the Call Her Daddy podcast, imagine that's the one podcast it's called Call Her Daddy, your presidential candidate. It's just, oh man. She gave both of them insane parameters and terms, full editorial control, build out the set so Kamala Harris could look the positive, she could look, all that stuff. And Donald Trump is just, I'm just going to show up. Let's go. I'm going on podcast, live stream, anyone and everybody. And I think Barron Trump was probably telling him where to go, like in his ear. I know it's a rumor, but who knows? It makes complete sense to me. It was just cool to watch Donald Trump beat the Democrats at their own game with capturing the youth vote like he did. He really took over the young culture there. TikTok culture, Gen Z, and now he's doing it even while he's in office. While, putting that rotating chair in the press room for new media. And like I said, I'm not exactly sure if Axios is going to be new media. You could technicality your way into thinking it's new media, but I would like for him to give some political commentators on YouTube. I'm not saying me, not me, but people have massive spaces and, that could do a pretty good job about that. And I wouldn't mind seeing that, TikTok, YouTube, people on the right wing that spread good messages, throw them in there. Instead of just large media outlets in general. I don't know if you actually absolutely have to have, certain credentials to be let in or certain law, but I think it's a great idea. And it's awesome to just watch the Democrats get beat at their own game by Donald Trump.
Tinfoil, and actually in Palm Beach, they're calling it like the Mar-a-Lago look, and they're asking plastic surgeons for it. It's only a matter of time before it comes to DC, and everybody's looking like that. In tight red dresses, you know.
I'm getting excited.
The blazer will be gone.
Byron, can you get me in?
Listen,
I mean, look, and Bill Maher's joking about it, saying he's excited, but it is good to see, right? I like that people are caring about the way they look again. That's pretty sick. And in comparison to Kamala Harris's family and her daughter, who literally has short, greasy hair with armpit hair that, oh God, it's just disgusting. That was going to lead our country. And you compare it to the Trump family, who are buttoned up and they care about the way they look a lot, and they're well groomed. Don't have women with armpit hair flaunting it in front of the camera, greasy ass hair and stuff like that. And, you know, look, I like that's becoming cool again. But let me know in the comments what you guys think about, most of what I wanted to make this video about Bill Maher calling out Chris Hayes live and the audience applauding Bill Maher on MSNBC, supporting him against the woke Chris Hayes. Let me know in the comments what you think about this whole Bill Maher versus Chris Hayes situation.